You look like you are frozen clean through. I don't think warmer weather's ever coming back to Vevey. And some of us have been cooped up inside for so long, we're beginning to go barn sour, if you know what I mean.
Do you see what you've unleashed here, Caleb?
I have no idea what you mean. I'm merely trying to inspire my constituents into voting for me.
That is not what I'm referencing. Look at poor Philo over here.
I am. What's wrong with it?
Nothing. Except for you putting me into debt with William French for this new coat.
Only one? I got 2 coats.
Good thing. You were starting to peel.
Philo, if you were 1/2 as funny as you think you are, you might actually be funny.
And if you were 1/2 foot taller, we might just be able to see you over that countertop.
Sheriff, your farming skills are legend, but planting season's still a ways off, and if you don't mind me asking, just what are you cultivating on your face?
What's it look like?
With all that smoke, from over here it looks like a brush fire.
It's a beard to keep my face warm. I don't think we're ever going to have warm weather around here.
You know, some warming ardent go a long way in taking the chill off these tired bones.
And some cold hard cash would go a long way in getting you that ardent Philo Averill.
William French got the last of my money. Could you extend me some credit?
When pigs fly!
Allow me, friends, to bow my head in prayer.
What are you praying for in here of all places?
Pork in the treetops.
And I'll take these as well. Frederick, you're such a wonderful husband buying me all these things. So strong, too, carrying everything.
Well, merely saving us money, dear wife. It's cheaper than hiring a drayman.
You can pick these up later. On to my Latin lesson at Mr. Kinsman's. While I'm there, why don't you stop in at the Eagle Tavern and see your friends?
I don't have any money left.
Of course you do. You're using it to pay Mr. Kinsman.
How could I forget?
I'd give you a kiss, but we're in public.
Don't worry, I don't think anyone can see me.
You're such a rascal. Frederick, don't dawdle.
No need to knock, the door's open.
Open the door and come on in.
If I could open the door, don't you think I would?
Sounds like Frederick.
Philo, open the door. The lad could be injured.
Thank you, gents. I'm near froze through.
Frederick, you look like you've bought out every mercantile in town.
Well, not yet, but it sure seems like that. My Miss Marguerite has expensive taste. I couldn't refuse her, and now she's off to Isaac Kinsman to take her Latin lessons.
You say she went to Kinsman's? I thought he quit teaching.
Only when he partakes too much of the ardent. He has the good sense to close when he's inebriated. Obviously, he and Bacchus aren't holding any great commune today.
In vino veritas.
As long as you're throwing around that erudite Latin phraseology there, Philo. Veni, vidi, vici.
I'm not understanding.
That's Latin for he came, he drank, now he has to pay his bill.
A2 Brute.
With times as hard as they are, I'm getting desperate for work. I'm thinking of going to that gaming house down at Main and Walnut.
Why would you go there?
I heard you could win hatfuls of money.
Who told you that?
Well, I overheard talk down at the landing. They were telling that to people getting off the steamboats. Well, they were even saying you could use credit.
Frederick, the only one winning there is the proprietor. He's fleecing innocent people like you and those Irish canal workers who are getting off the steamboat. The man's a curse.
I'm no preacher, Frederick, but every man has to learn one lesson in his life. You only have 2 things of value, your word and your work. That's what earns you a good life and a wife.
Just a minute.
Beastly cold out there. Is the landlord about?
He is? How may he be of service?
I'm in need of lodging, a drink, and your fire could also avail themselves.
Maybe himself over there can give you a hot cider.
Cider? Bosh! I'll take a whiskey. In fact, it'd please me to buy you all around.
Look, in the sky. Pigs!
I don't believe I caught your name.
Don't believe I dropped it.
Those two are going to get along famously.
Name is Amos Beacon, captain of the steamboat Plowboy. I'm making a run from Cincinnati, down the Ohio, up the Wabash. I intend to be the first steamboat ever to reach Terre Haute.
Terre Haute? What the devil do you expect to find in Terre Haute?
Who knows? Maybe the devil?
In Terre Haute! I doubt it.
If you're so determined to be the first boat to Terre Haute, don't you think you better get back on the river?
Can't at present.
Why not?
When I pulled in here to take on a load of wood, some of your local wharf rats lured my men off. Told them about winning their hats full of money over at some place on Main and Walnut. My boys demanded their pay and lit out. I'm looking to fit out a new crew.
Sheriff, that place has got to get broken up.
Steamboating sure sounds a lot more interesting than farming.
I'll say so, Plowboy. In fact, why don't you join me and plow the river instead? Or perhaps you prefer looking at the north end of a southbound mule.
I prefer to be at home looking at my wife. How long's the trip?
Long enough for you to make a decent wage and buy her all the things she wants. Son, to quote Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which when taken at the flood leads to fortune. On such a full sea are we now afloat.
Also, quoting Shakespeare, beware the Ides of March.
Now what?
My apologies, gentlemen. Frederick? My Latin lesson was canceled. When I got there, the door was locked. There was something scrawled across it. Inebriatus?
Like I said, in vino veritas.
Frederick thought the wiser and remained home. Sheriff Siebenthal, he didn't have to bust up that gaming house. Some of the local citizenry did it for him. William French is so desperate for work, he's taken produce now as well as cash for his services. Captain Beacon, he did indeed get the plowboy up the Wabash to Terre Haute, but when he got there, he didn't find the devil. He found someone else had beat him to it. And now someone is floating the idea of selling lottery tickets to build a canal around the falls of the Ohio. You can even buy your tickets on credit. They are taxing stupidity here. I'm going to be so glad when warmer weather gets here. Folks need to get out of doors.